First, we are taking column chromatography. The column is similar to that of burette, but its diameter is large, comparatively large. This stopcock is there in burette. So burette, all of you must have seen. So if you imagine the burette with bigger diameter, you can very well imagine what is column. This column is packed with adsorbent, and which acts as a stationary phase, and usually adsorbent is alumina. Sometimes silica is also used, but mostly alumina is used as adsorbent. Now this solid will create obstruction in the stem, so here we are using glass wools. Glass wool will prevent this mixture of solid, this solid to clog our stopcock. So that is the purpose of using glass wool. Here we have taken mixture of components A plus B plus C. Now this mixture we add from the top. If this mixture is liquid, we add directly. But if this mixture contains solids, so first we dissolve them into suitable solvent. And this mixture has reached here. After the mixture has been added, we add a solvent. Why do we add a solvent? Because this mixture, the components will move very slowly. To make their movement faster, we have added the solvent. Which solvent? In which these components are soluble. Technically, this solvent is called eluent. And when you add this solvent, the movement of these components become faster. See the second diagram, one of the component A has got separated. Now here B and C have got less adsorbing power than A. A has more adsorbing power, so it will move slowly. B plus C has got less adsorbing power, so they will move faster. So two components, that is A is separated from B and C, and in the third diagram if you see, A is separated, B is separated, and C is also separated. C is moving fastest, it means its adsorbing power is least. B is intermediate, that is its adsorbing power is more than C but less than A. A has maximum adsorbing power, so it will take maximum time to get separated. Now there is a distance between them, so first we will get component C through the stem, we collect it, then we will get component B which can be collected, and third component A also will be separated. Now if you had dissolved the given compound in a particular solvent, solvent can be evaporated to get pure component C, B and A. So these diagrams show different stages of separation of components of mixture with the help of chromatography. Here stationary phase is adsorbent, alumina, and mobile phase is the mixture of compounds as well as solvent. They form the mobile phase. Next we are taking thin layer chromatography. In thin layer chromatography, what we do, this is a glass sheet, and in this glass sheet what we do is that we prepare silica gel. How to prepare silica gel? Take the silica gel and dissolve it in water. Dissolve it in water means make a paste in water. It won't be soluble in water. You will get a white paste in water. Dip this glass strip into paste of silica gel. This will be coated with silica gel and it will become white on both sides. Because we need one side, so another side you can scratch it also. So first on this thin layer chromatography is ready, and here what we do, this is the reference line or baseline. Here you can mark the reference line or baseline and put a sample spot on the baseline. So in thin layer chromatography we make a baseline, and this sample spot is first placed here, and after that we add a solvent here. In this solvent, this spot can move, and this spot will reach at this place after some time by movement, and solvent will travel faster than this, so solvent will be reaching up more, it will cover more distance as compared to the spot. This is the dwelling chromatogram. That is, earlier spot was here and we have shown you here. After moving it, it reaches this. When it reaches at this point, we call it dwelling chromatogram is ready. Means we have already carried out chromatography. This is the distance moved by the spot, that is the solute or the substance which we wanted to test. This is the distance, this is denoted by x. This distance is denoted by x. And the distance traveled by solvent from the baseline up to this spot can be marked, and this distance is moved by the solvent. during we have developed the chromatogram. Now here we find out retention factor or retardation factor denoted by RF. RF is distance moved by the substance from the baseline. That is, this is the substance which is moving from the baseline, and distance moved by the solvent from the baseline. This is the distance moved by solvent from the baseline. So this is X over Y. When you divide, you will get RF value. Keep in mind that RF value will be always less than 1. Why it will be less than 1? Because distance moved by the solvent will be more than distance moved by the spot. This is the way to calculate RF value. Now, if you have got mixture of blue ink and red ink, then we will get two spots. One spot will be here, another spot will be here. So we will measure the distance of the blue spot and red spot separately and divide them with the distance traveled by the solvent, and we'll get RF value for blue ink and red ink. So by this method, we can separate pigments of flowers, chlorophyll A and B, and mixture of blue ink and red ink. Next, we are taking partition chromatography. In partition chromatography, we have taken circular paper, and spot we have put here and at the baseline, and solvent we have taken in this gas jar. We have covered with cardboard so that there is no outside disturbance. This circular we have taken chromatographic paper, and jar we have taken in which we are keeping this circular paper in vertical form. So, and spot we have put here. Now this is similar to thin layer chromatography. Here the chromatographic paper is made up of cellulose, but water acts on water which will be adsorbed on chromatographic paper will act as stationary phase, and mobile phase will be making the mixture of solvents which we will take here. Either we take pure solvent or we take water plus ethyl alcohol, and this so that chromatogram or this spot can move easily. Keep in mind, this is a precaution that this spot should not directly dip into the solvent. So it should be slightly above the solvent, and that we have to take care. This is the developed chromatogram. That spot has reached its final place, and here we have it has moved from baseline, and here we have taken solvent, mixture of solvents. Generally we take water plus alcohol. The spot has moved to this place. This jar was taken. This was chromatographic paper. Here I was telling you that the stationary phase is chromatographic paper on which water is adsorbed. So water adsorbed on the chromatographic paper acts as stationary phase, and the solvent, this mixture of solvent which we have taken along with, will act as the mobile phase, and our spot will move in mobile phase. Solvent will definitely move faster and the spot will move slower. When you find that spot has moved clearly to a certain distance, we can stop this and we will get the developed chromatogram. And by this technique, we can purify the substance. We can find out whether the given substance is pure or not. Even we can separate the components of colored substances. If you want to separate amino acids which are colorless, we have to use ninhydrin solution. And if we want to separate aldehydes or sugars which contain aldehyde group, we can use 2,4-DNP. So that will make colorless substance colored, and we will be able to separate them.